Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so yesterday I uploaded a nice little video about Shang-Chi basically doing an infinite stun loop combo on Winter Soldier. And two things about the comments. Now, first and foremost, there's a group of players who said it would never work if opponent have active special 3 and it's not that practical and it's not that viable and stuff like that. Well, today we have a video that not only proves that it works extremely well, we also have a video that shows how to use it in Abyss of Legends and completely cheese that entire thing. And let me make something perfectly clear. This is not a bug. This is not issue with animation speed or recovery like it was with Solar Centurion. This is working as intended, and this is part of his ability kit. This is a mistake, 100%. But the champion is working exactly as advertised. The problem is, whoever made the champion did not know exactly what it would be capable of doing. That is a critical oversight, so to speak. Doing this is not abusing a bug, because there's no bug. Everything's working exactly as intended. And also, the second group of players who are upset that I made the video. And again, first and foremost, with or without video, this would be known to Kabam, regardless. It was, there were plenty of other videos already out on YouTube, as I have been informed, but I hadn't really seen them because I had been grinding. And on top of all of that, something like this cannot be really allowed to exist in this game, because then the game is going to turn into haves and have-nots. Imagine a situation if this remains, then majority of Alliance War attack teams will simply be sporting 6-star Shang-Chi, majority of Alliance Quest teams will be sporting 5-star Shang-Chi, and you're gonna leave a 4-star Shang-Chi for casual questing or whatever you want to do with him. That cannot happen. It has to be addressed in the best way possible. My personal solution probably would be just make sure that stun and only stun cannot trigger through block if you're using special 1. Or I don't know, maybe like a tiny cooldown timer or something. Or maybe make sure that stun simply does not activate if you have activated it X amount of times in short amount of period. I don't know. There are definitely several ways how to fix it, but one thing's for sure, they have to fix it without affecting Shang-Chi in any other capacity. Otherwise, people are going to be extremely pissed off. Right, but let's get to the footage. And I must apologize here for the footage itself, because it's not the greatest quality. It has been sent to me through lineup. And the person that sent this fight through to me actually did entire path of Abyss using primarily 4-star Shang-Chi. Entire run was 21 revives, of whom I believe Collector was 12. And I'm not sure whether he used Shang-Chi for Collector, but in general he said he got 10 or 12 solos along the line. So you can use this strategy to solo majority of the fights in Abyss with a 4-star. And to put in comparison, I recently did a revisit of Abyss using only 6-star rank 3 teams, primarily using the 4 Horsemen of Abyss and some other random champions like Magnetos or whoever. And it took me about 28 revives, I think, 20 or 30 revives to do the easy path. So 4-star Shang-Chi right now, as he stands, is more capable in Abyss than entire team of 6-star rank 3 champions, which is just absolutely magical if you ask me. It's just stupid. It's crazy. The entire run, he said, took 8 hours, and yeah, 21 revives. Considering that an average run typically takes about 5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, depending how you boost and how well you play, that's not even that long. It's definitely perfectly doable run. 8 hours for a Path of Abyss. Again, it's not the quickest one, but an average run still takes 5-6 hours, so it's not that much longer. And that is thanks to Shang-Chi's ability to gain more and more damage the longer the fight goes. Every time you crit, your crit damage increases further, up until 300 times. And yeah, so you basically can triple or quadruple your damage output that you start with initially, and obviously there's plenty of guaranteed crits. So even a 4-star is capable of doing these fights in relatively decent speed. Like, I know it looks here that he's not doing too much damage, but here again he isn't boosted, and he doesn't have quite the most aggressive mastery setup. And keep in mind that Shang-Chi ramps up his damage the further the fight goes, so the longer you do this, the harder Shang-Chi hits. And we can see at this point both enraged, not enraged, but both charges have been expanded. Thing is fully unblockable, Thing is fully unstoppable, but you are able to maintain 100% uptime of multiple slow debuffs. You can see at this point we had 3 slow debuffs active. And the stun loop continues. He's gonna finish the fight somewhere at around 300 hit range, just because Line has the limitation of sending up to 5-minute long videos, and obviously they're again deeply compressed, therefore I must apologize for the grainy footage. But yeah, it's perfectly doable. Remember that you're gonna keep hitting harder, you can still boost up. Shang-Chi with like no synergies, nothing. You don't need anything else for this to work. You don't need a 4-man synergy team, you don't need specific nodes. It's just in his base rotation and his base abilities. And that is it. There are, I have been informed, several different rotations, including this stun loop. In some cases, you are able to drop your level 2s as well, thus increasing your actual fight damage output, because you can gain these charges. Like you can see at this point he has like 60 or 70 charges, even though gaining the charges are not the focus at all in any capacity of this fight. Stun loop is. But still, you are building up these charges, so by the end of it, you can drop like a massive level 2 that would basically have all hits crit for like 85k probably or something, because that is the limit there. And yeah, so this is what Shang-Chi does. He just trolls these guys till infinity and further, and solos everything in Abyss. And again, if you are somebody as narrow-minded to think that this should stay in the game in its current form, then there's not much else I can say except the fact that you, my dear friend, are extremely narrow-minded. This would ruin the game in its entirety, and Shang-Chi would be used for everything, and this game would depend on whether you have Shang-Chi or not. So it cannot stay in its current form. It really cannot. But what is more abysmal is Kabam actually introducing this in the game. How something like this can make its way in Marathons of Champions is beyond me. Especially since it's not like the first or second year the game has been around. You'd think for a second they know what they're doing by year 6. Anyways, so again, there are tons of ways how to sort this out without affecting Shang-Chi too much, which is the most critical aspect, because obviously people have spent a lot of money for Shang-Chi, and people have grinded a lot for Shang-Chi. So any meaningful change to his abilities will cause humongous outrage. Even right now, we're looking at a whole bunch of pissed off people once this is gonna get changed. But this has to go. Cannot remain in Marathons of Champions. And yeah, again, just for funsies, entire Abyss run, 21 revives. Didn't use any units, just 21 revives. Didn't have to really heal for any of the fights either. 4-star Shang-Chi, and did not ask him for the rest of his team, because again, you can just bring in Shang-Chi and whatever other champions you want to bring in. It really doesn't matter too much for most of the fights. Obviously, you still want the Mystic champion for fights where it's needed. You want Human Torch against the Mystic champions, but the rest of the spots is kind of up to you for most part. And it's funny. It's funny. I don't have much else to add. Anyways, that's it for today. I have a ton of videos coming out, hopefully. And yeah, stay tuned. And I'll see you soon. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information